Have you ever felt like you're not alone, even when you're alone? You might be being watched by a monitoring spirit in the unseen layers of reality that surround your daily life. These spirits, which are often thought of as evil spirits or demons, are not just figments of folklore. They are real beings in the spiritual ecosystem. Their role is not just to watch. They actively seek to gather intelligence on individuals, using this knowledge to manipulate circumstances to their nefarious advantage. The purpose of monitoring spirits is deeply woven into the darker side of the spiritual realm. They are the sabbats of destiny, the unseen hands that push you towards misfortune and despair, operating under the command of lower vibrational entities. Their mission is to divert you from your path of light and potential. They thrive in the undercurrents of negative energy and are drawn to it as their source of power. These spirits are good at tricking people by making their actions seem like coincidences or bad luck. They do this by gathering information about your fears, weaknesses, and key moments in your life. They then set up complicated traps that make your decisions lead to the results they want. Understanding how these spirits work is important because it helps you know when you might be under their influence and how to fight back against their manipulations. Monitoring spirits are drawn to chosen ones because they have the power to greatly change or disrupt the spiritual and material planes they operate in. They work in the shadows of your consciousness, where their influence can subtly but effectively change your course. One common tactic is to create unexpected obstacles. For example, you might find that whenever you're on the verge of a major breakthrough, sudden and unexplainable problems arise. Documents go missing, communications are misunderstood, or key collaborations fall apart for no apparent reason. These are not coincidences. These spirits are testing your resolve and maybe trying to get you to do or not do certain things. Doubt is another weapon in their arsenal. Monitoring spirits often whisper uncertainties into your mind at times of decision-making, making you question your intuition and judgments. These insidious doubts can paralyze decision-making, sow confusion, and delay actions that might otherwise push you forward. You might feel these as nagging thoughts that undermine your confidence just as you're about to gain power or make big changes. Emotional manipulation is also a common tactic. These spirits can make you feel more afraid, inadequate, or unworthy at important times. For example, you might feel overwhelmed by fear just before a big public speaking event or meeting, even though you have prepared well and have the skills. On the other hand, they might make you feel unnecessarily happy or complacent when you should be cautious and critical. Thinking are essential, leading to missteps and errors in judgment. Such interventions are not merely hurdles, but are spiritually and cosmically orchestrated challenges meant to refine and prepare you for your destined role. They test your strength, commitment, and ability to face complex emotional landscapes. The underlying purpose is not to thwart you per se, but to ensure that when you do step into your role, you are fully prepared, resilient, and aware of the myriad forces that play a role in shaping. Understanding these tactics is important because it helps you see that these challenges are not just bad luck or personal failures, but part of a larger spiritual story. This can give you strength and change your perspective, allowing you to see these challenges not as insurmountable barriers, but as parts of a rigorous training ground for your spiritual and personal growth. As a chosen one, the fact that these spirits are watching your journey should be seen as proof of your great potential. Your actions have weight and consequences that go far beyond what you can see. They reach into the realms that keep the scales of cosmic order in balance. The second reason why chosen ones attract monitoring spirits is because these people have a huge effect on the spiritual landscape. Your actions are full of transformative power that threatens to lessen areas of spiritual negativity, which are important places for these monitoring entities to live and work. These spirits thrive in the shadows cast by your actions. Your ability to get rid of these shadows is a direct threat to their realm monitoring spirits, which is why they work harder to stop the positive changes that people like you are making. They see your ability to inspire hope, healing, and truth as a threat to their existence. In response, these spirits use strategies that not only slow your progress, but also undermine the effects of your actions. For example, think about how you are trying to promote peace and reconciliation in a community rife with long-standing conflicts. Just as your efforts start to pay off, monitoring spirits may plant seeds of discord by blowing misunderstandings out of proportion or bringing up old grievances. They do this by manipulating perceptions and emotions to reignite disputes, which effectively puts a damper on the initial successes of your peace-building efforts. Additionally, in places where you want to foster positivity, like workplaces or social groups, these spirits may incite jealousy, competition, or greed, subtly eroding the harmony you aim to establish. They twist intentions and obscure truths, making your noble efforts seem self-serving or manipulative to others, thereby isolating you and undermining your influence. Monitoring spirits also plays on the collective fear of change as you introduce new ideas or lead movements that challenge the status quo. These spirits amplify the community's insecurities and fears, portraying change as perilous and uncertain. They take advantage of people's resistance to change by portraying your innovations as disruptions that could lead to chaos instead of improvement in response to your efforts to promote spiritual growth and enlightenment. Monitoring spirits might distort or block the dissemination of your teachings. They could convince key people to misinterpret your messages or spread doubt about your motives and methods, which would weaken the effectiveness of your spiritual guidance. The intense battle waged by these spirits is not. Every setback caused by these spirits is both a test of your potential and a sign of how important your mission is. You need to understand how this spiritual opposition works so you can plan ahead and protect your efforts from these spiritual attacks. Remember that your journey is not just about achieving earthly goals, but about mastering the spiritual resilience needed to transcend and transform the negativity that these spirits guard so fiercely. The third reason why chosen ones attract monitoring spirits lies in the profound ripple effects that your achievements can unleash upon society and the spiritual realm. Your potential to enact societal reform, spur spiritual renewal, and enhance community well-being is a beacon of change that threatens the established order. Guarded by these spirits, each step forward you take in enlightening others, improving conditions, or fostering understanding can have a huge impact on the spiritual landscape. Your actions can start a chain reaction of good effects. For example, your drive for social reform might break down long-standing inequalities and injustices, healing community rifts and making society more fair. Or maybe your efforts to promote spiritual renewal will awaken a dormant seeking in others, leading to a collective rise in consciousness. Not only change the physical world, but they also have an effect on the spiritual world by changing the vibrational frequencies at which societies work. However, these changes in spiritual and social frameworks pose a direct threat to monitoring spirits, whose power and control are based on the status quo. The stability of their power depends on the predictability and continuity of existing spiritual and social structures. Your ability to disrupt these structures and shake up the stagnant waters of conformity and complacency makes them nervous. These spirits work against you by manipulating energies and setting up situations to stop the progress the chosen ones have started. If you lead a movement for reform, These spirits might incite opposition, spread false information, or make people more afraid of the unknown. All of this is meant to discredit your efforts and keep the old order. In your quest to improve the well-being of the community, these spirits may manipulate. They use emotions and perceptions to sow doubt and skepticism, and they may make small setbacks or failures seem bigger than they are to hide the bigger benefits of your initiatives. By keeping a climate of doubt and division, they make it harder for the community to see and accept the deep benefits your actions offer. In fighting these spirits, your awareness of their tactics becomes your shield, and knowing that your transformative impact on society and spirituality is a threat to their dominion allows you need to be ready for resistance and plan ahead. This knowledge gives you the power to strengthen your efforts, prepare your followers for backlash, and keep going with even more determination. The interaction between chosen ones and monitoring spirits is not just a battle of wills. It is a fundamental part of the evolutionary struggle in the cosmos. Each victory over these spirits is not just a personal triumph, it is a breakthrough for all of humanity, a step toward a freer, more enlightened existence. A chosen one is very important. It is a call to arms in the silent war between stagnation and growth, between the old guards of spiritual suffocation and the new bearers of spiritual liberation. The fourth reason why Chen ones attract monitoring spirits is deeply rooted in the strategic gathering and use of information. These spirits cunningly and carefully collect personal data about you, not just as a way to watch you, but as a way to fully understand your strengths, weaknesses, and deepest fears. This information isn't gathered for no reason. It has a dark purpose: to create challenges that will slow your progress and protect the status quo that these spirits guard so fiercely. In the shadowy realms where these spirits operate, your life's journey is closely watched. Each victory, setback, and moment of doubt is recorded, creating a complex profile that reveals more than just your actions. It reveals the essence of your being. They learn how you think, react, and recover. They know what scares you at night, what inspires you at dawn, and what makes you feel bad when things go wrong. This information is a weapon in their ethereal arsenal that they use with precision against you. Using this information, monitoring spirits create obstacles that are not just generic problems, but are instead tailored challenges that are designed to take advantage of your specific weaknesses. For example, if you are afraid of failing, they might change things so that you have to deal with public setbacks at important times. These spirits may shake your confidence and make you less determined, or if your strength comes from your close relationships, they may plant seeds of distrust and discord among your allies, leaving you alone when you need support the most. These tailored challenges serve multiple dark purposes. They test your resilience and dedication, but more insidiously, they try to steer you away from your path by making you question your choices and doubt your abilities, by undermining your confidence. And these spirits try to keep a spiritual balance that favors stagnation over growth and suppression over liberation by using your fears against you. The use of these customized obstacles shows how much the monitoring spirits are afraid of your potential. Each barrier is a sign of their desperation to stop you from realizing your full potential to bring about change. It is a battle fought in the most subtle ways, where the very personal details of your life become the means of your potential undoing. Being aware of this strategy is very important because it gives you the power to see that these personalized trials are not just random, but are actually planned. This knowledge helps you prepare for these attacks and protect yourself against them. Knowing what these challenges are really about lets you turn your perceived weaknesses into strengths, using the spirit's weapons against them. In this cosmic game of chess, every move you make based on this understanding changes the balance of power. It not only neutralizes the effect of the obstacles placed before you, but also weakens the influence of the monitoring spirits themselves by reclaiming your narrative and mastering the lessons hidden. Within these challenges, you not only progress on your path, but also dismantle the structures of control that these spirits have built therefore as you continue on your journey. Let this knowledge sharpen your resolve and guide your steps. Each challenge, when viewed through the lens of strategic manipulation by spirits, become less of a barrier and more of a stepping stone that pushes you toward your ultimate destiny of making a big difference and changing things. In this way, you don't just walk your path, you redefine it, turning your enemy's weapons into tools for your victory in your destined ascent to greatness. You are always being watched by the invisible eyes of monitoring spirits, whose influence weaves through your life with threads of unseen forces. This spectral surveillance shows up in both subtle and obvious ways, profound, shaping the trajectory of your journey towards your ultimate calling. The influence of these monitoring spirits often surfaces as unexplained obstacles that seem to arise from nowhere. You might have meticulously planned a project or a significant life change only to encounter bizarre complications that defy logical explanation. Contracts may fall through at the last minute, or essential tools may malfunction without reason despite careful preparation and maintenance. These are not mere coincidences, they are calculated disruptions meant to test your resolve and distract you from your path. You might experience inexplicable setbacks that seem disproportionately devastating. These could manifest as sudden financial losses, unexpected health issues, or deep betrayals from trusted allies. Such setbacks are often to coincide with moments when you are poised to make significant progress, pulling the ground from under your feet and forcing you to question your direction and purpose. Feelings of being watched or hindered also commonly plague. If you have been touched by the spectral hands of these spirits, you may feel like you are being watched, as if an unseen audience is waiting for you to make a mistake. This feeling can be very unsettling, planting seeds of doubt and paranoia that may make you hesitate when you should be moving forward. It is important to understand that these manifestations are not random misfortunes, but targeted spiritual interferences. They are meant to test your mental and spiritual strength. When you understand these trials for what they are, you can start to fight their effects, turning obstacles into chances to grow and reaffirming your commitment to your destined path. This realization not only gives you the strength to get through these challenges, but it also strengthens your spirit against the ongoing battle for your destiny in your journey, marked by unseen battles and silent watchers. The influence of monitoring spirits becomes a critical mastery. This struggle, though hidden, is as real as the ground under your feet, and your response must be both strategic and vigilant. First, awareness is your first shield. It means tuning into the subtle signs of spiritual interference, those inexplicable setbacks, the uncanny obstacles that keep getting in your way, and the unsettling feeling of being watched all the time. Recognizing these patterns is more than understanding. It's about acknowledging. Your journey is so important that it affects the realms in ways that can't be seen. This awareness lets you plan and prepare instead of reacting and recovering. Building resilience is the main way to protect yourself against these spiritual attacks. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back quickly from setbacks. It's about building an inner strength that can withstand and adapt to these challenges. It means deepening your spiritual practices, whether that's meditation, prayer, or other rituals that connect you with your core and improve your spiritual armor. This resilience turns what could have been crippling blows into simple obstacles that you navigate with grace and strength. Strategic silence or privacy in your personal and public expressions is a powerful but often overlooked tactic. Not every plan, victory, or insight needs to be shared with the public. Sometimes, keeping information from the public eye can protect you from targeted spiritual attacks. When you control the flow of information about your moves and motivations, you obscure the sightlines. This selective sharing isn't about fear, it's about strategic positioning. You keep your cards close to your chest until the time is right. Using these strategies, heightened awareness, strengthened resilience, and careful privacy turns you from a passive target into an active warrior in the spiritual realm. You're not just defending against unseen forces, you're reclaiming your journey and asserting your destined role in the world. This proactive stance makes sure that you move through life, not only with courage, but also with the wisdom to know when to shine brightly and when to be quiet. In the unseen dimensions that flow through our lives, you are constantly watched by monitoring spirits. These beings are drawn to your great potential to bring about important changes and engage in subtle warfare to limit your power and keep their dominion. Recognizing this power is not an invitation to fear, but a call to rise with strategic acumen and spiritual strength. You have learned that monitoring spirits use tactics like creating obstacles that don't make sense, making you doubt yourself, and messing with your emotions to stop your progress. These are not random acts of bad luck, but planned attempts to keep things the way they are spiritually. Your actions are going to disrupt the very essence of your mission to bring about societal reform, spiritual renewal, and a higher vibrational state of being, which these spirits operate as you explore this terrebrain awareness becomes your guiding light. It enables you to recognize the patterns of interference, transforming bewildering setbacks into recognizable signs of opposition. Coupled with this awareness, resilience built through steadfast spiritual practices such as meditation, prayer, and reflection becomes your shield and sword in the spiritual battle. The path you walk is marked by both challenges and high stakes, reflecting the significant role you play in the cosmic play. Now more than ever, your journey requires you to accept your role, not just with acceptance, but with a proactive mastery over the spiritual hurdles you face. This mastery is not achieved alone, but with others who are on similar paths. I call on you to share your stories of overcoming spiritual monitoring. Let your stories of resilience and tactical wisdom be beacons for others who are still trying to figure out the shadows on their paths. Together, as a community aware of our watchers, we can strengthen our spiritual defenses and go on with a collective strength that reshapes not just individual destinies, but the greater destiny of mankind itself. Embrace your role, share your discoveries, and continue to push the boundaries of what is spiritually and physically possible.